For the fifth Sunday in Lent, this final normal Sunday in the season before we get to Palm Sunday and Holy Week, we have some really delicate ideas about, in the readings and in the prayers, about being solely minded as we focus on following Christ. And that has, of course, the ideas of discipleship, which we explore oftentimes in the season after the Epiphany, but in Lent especially, having that idea of personal devotion to the love and the standard of Jesus Christ and trusting in God's mercy. And some of the music that we'll be singing really speaks to that in a very tender way. At the sequence hymn, we'll be singing, "My faith looks up to thee, thou Lamb of Calvary." And we sort of associate that now with maybe sort of a revival, tent revival kind of thing. But these are really beautiful words by a 19th century theologian, and with some really beautiful harmonies by a 19th century American hymn specialist, Lowell Mason. The choir will also be singing some very comforting music. At the offertory, they'll be singing a setting of poetry by Phineas Fletcher, who was a late 16th, early 17th century English poet, and wrote these beautiful words, "Drop, drop, slow tears, and bathe those beauteous feet that brought from heaven the news and Prince of Peace." Very atmospheric kind of Elizabethan poetry. And this is a setting these words have been set many, many times. The setting that we'll be singing is by Robert Graham, who is an American composer. And he composes in this dreamy sort of, sort of a luminous style. It starts off with this beautiful organ introduction. And then the choir comes in. And it goes through that whole poem in that very gentle, sort of a rocking motion. At the communion, the choir will be singing a piece that's new to us by the American composer Aaron J. Kernis. Aaron J. Kernis is one of the most successful classical music composers in America operating these days. He was born in 1960, not a very old person at all. He wrote this actually in the early 80s, so the piece has been around for a while, but as I say, this is new for us. And it has, again, a sort of a dreamy sort of a feel to it, setting these words from Psalm 86. "Teach me thy way, O Lord, and I will adhere myself to your path." It starts off with a very interesting effect where the pedals, the notes that you play with your feet, you hold this open fifth, and then as you're holding that with your heel, you move your foot and play this B like this. So you get this undulating sound, and then the choir comes in with that entrance of "Teach me thy way, O Lord." So it sort of emerges out of the texture. And then there's a very beautiful section in the middle where the choir sings a unison melody that's a very rich and expressive melody, and then it returns to that feel at the end. Some very interesting and introspective music. So we hope that as you finish your Lenten journey and prepare for Holy Week, you will come worship with us here at St. John's, either on our YouTube channel, on cable, or here downtown on Cumberland Avenue.